So nice to see you all here this morning. We have a good workout plan for you today. We're just going to work on lower body. And normally with classes, what I like to do is like a cardio strength interval type of training. But because we have only 45 minutes today, we're just going to do strength training. And it's all lower body. So if you can't walk tomorrow, it's okay, you can blame me. But what I want you to be aware of as you're doing these exercises is I'm going to be coaching you through form. But number two, I want to help you be aware that you do have a life to function through today and tomorrow beyond just this class. So if you feel like your muscles are fatiguing, if you feel like they are getting like extremely, they shouldn't be sore yet, but if you could potentially be feeling some injury coming on, please stop. You don't have to do all of the reps, okay? This is your workout. You make it as good as you want it to be. And remember that you have a life to live beyond today. So with that, we're going to start with a warm up. So I'll have you stand up, and we're going to start with some kick across. Warming up through those hips here a little bit. This is a nice dynamic stretch. It's always good to do dynamic stretches before any workout. And that'll help just with some joint mobility. So if you're tight, you're going to feel it through the hips here, maybe even some lower back, depending on how tight you are. And now what we're going to do is a heel tap. So tapping that heel, and this stretches even more through that outer hip, warms up a little bit through that inner thigh. So should feel good. If you're feeling stuff while you're doing stretching, then a dynamic warm up and tightness, then you need to do more stretching, my friends. Let's go with a quad stretch here. So pulling that heel to your glute. And I'm adding arms just because it feels good. As Americans, we always, okay, maybe I should just say human beings. We usually tend to lift our shoulders and round our shoulders. So it's always good to just stretch that chest out a little bit. 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to kick it out. So kicking, what I want you to do is heel strike. We're going to be ninjas today, not ballerinas. So strike with your heel, not point with your toe. What I want you to be aware of is please try to keep that back nice and tall. So you don't want to be bending and kicking. So shoulders nice and tall over those hips, driving your belly button into the spine here. Should be feeling a nice stretch in the back of the hamstring. 2 and 1. Good. Perfect. Going wide feet, toes pointed out just slightly, and setting to one side, so you're going to get a nice stretch in that inner thigh. Come back to center, switch sides. So now what I want to make sure is that when you're doing this, your knees should not be going over the front of your toes. So you're sitting back like in a chair. So protect your knee here. Side view, you're sitting back like in a chair. So my knee's not even remotely over my toe. So you should just be feeling a nice stretch in that inner thigh. Keep going. Here's 5, 4, good. 3, should feel really good, especially this early in the morning. Perfect. All right, so now we're just going to do some heel digs. So digging your heel, pointing that toe to the ceiling. If your calves are tight here, you're going to start feeling those calves working pretty good, like a nice big stretch. Normally, I don't do calf work in any workouts because our calves are normally shortened, but we'll do a little bit today just because we're doing lower body. 3, 2, and 1. Good. One more thing. We're just going to do a floor sweep. So sweeping that floor, or as close, if you want to sweep your shins, depending on how tight your hamstrings are, come up, twist to the side just a little, and then go back down, twist to the other side. So you're going to get some oblique stretch here. Should feel good in that lower back and or hamstring. Oh man. Hopefully there's no pain in that lower back. If you're feeling pain, I recommend going to the chiropractor. Perfect. Okay, we have one more left to do. It's to stretch that hip flexor, which helps that leg move forward. So if you want to hold on to something for balance, please do. But what we're going to do is a leg swing to the back. So we're not swinging it to the front. We're swinging it to the back. And if you're in, it'll just warm up through that hip flexor just a little bit. So we'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It's not a big swing, it's a little swing here. So other side. Should not be painful in that lower back. If you're feeling any pinching or anything, I recommend going to the chiropractor. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so we've just done some dynamic stretching in our lower legs. I do want to do a little bit through our shoulders because if you are going to be using dumbbells, then you're going to want to just do a little bit of shoulder mobility, just a little bit. We're going to do some, if you're a swimmer, then you'll know this is a back crawl. Good. Now we'll go freestyle or front crawl. Just getting some mobility. Good job. Awesome. 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Okay. Let's start with a walk in place. If you want to take it up a notch, you can start with a jog in place. So I'll leave it up to you. If you want to jog it or walk it, just getting those muscles warmed up. So you have 2 different types of muscles or muscle fibers in your muscles. There's your fast twitch and your slow twitch. So we're going to primarily work on those slow twitch. Fast twitch means running, jumping, like plyometric type moves. We're not going to be doing that today. Just working on slow twitch. All right, here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's get some a little bit more low impact jumping jacks here. Bring that heart rate up, getting that blood pumping through your muscles here. Good. All right, here's 10, 9. You can always do high impact if you want. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Okay, let's do this. So, sorry, I just had a phone call come in there. All right, if you want to use your weights, you can. You don't have to. We're going to start with some squats. So first off, let me show you. Let's start first without any weight, just to make sure everybody's on the same page with your form. So I'm going to start forward facing first. So those feet are going to be shoulder width apart, shoulders over your hips, pulling those shoulders back. And you're just going to pretend like you're sitting in a chair. Okay, so you do not want those knees to go over your toes when you're doing a squat. The goal in a squat is to at least get those hips to knee height or a little lower if you can. Squeeze at the top. So let's start trying a few of those. And what the other piece of this that you need to be aware of is when you're doing a squat, your shoulders should never fall over your knees. You got to really bring that back up, shoulders high, doing those squats. Good. So let's do another 5, 4, 3. Good. 2. Please watch those shoulders. They shouldn't be falling over your knees. Done. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you're feeling your quads already, or if you're okay. Okay, nobody's giving me a thumbs up, so that makes me, okay, there's one person, awesome. We're gonna add dumbbells if you want. You have 2 different options on these, lots of options for dumbbells. So what we're gonna do 10 with the dumbbells just hanging by your sides. Okay, this is gonna primarily work legs and glutes, or quads and glutes. So here we go. We're just going to squat and back up. Please keep that back tall. When you add dumbbells, it wants to pull you forward. Please don't let it do that. Good. 5. Good job. Woo, squeeze those glutes at the top. Really try to drive through your quads and your heels, not the front of your toes. Okay, I'm really bad at counting. I think this is 9. I did go to kindergarten, but okay, good. Whew. Heart rate should be coming up a little bit. Hopefully your legs have a little bit more juice in them because we're going to do one more squat. This is a back squat. So you're going to let those dumbbells hang off of your shoulders. So pulling those elbows back. And you're just going to do a squat. This is going to work more core and glutes here. Okay, so keeping those shoulders tall. Please don't let those shoulders fall forward. Pretend that you have your lungs are like a balloon. Inhale, exhale. The balloon is going to help support your core to help keep that back tall. Your legs might be on fire by now because you've just done about 40 squats, 50 squats. Doing good. 4 more. 4. Woo. Remember, 3, you have to walk tomorrow. So if you need to take a break, please do. Done. All right. Anybody need water yet? Hydrating. Everybody's hydrating, I hope. Okay, moving to some hamstrings. So for hamstrings, key here, if these are done improperly, you're going to feel it in your lower back. So I want you to pretend that you have a broomstick, a long painting stick, something that's long stick. And you're going to set it on top of your head. It's going to tap your shoulders and it's going to tap your hips. So head, shoulders, hips. Because what's going to happen if that dowel or that stick, if you're not in proper alignment, your head drops and the stick is going to fall forward. If your shoulders round, then the stick is going to roll off. If your hips are tucked, then the stick, like once you get in bad alignment, that stick won't stay flat. But if you're able to maintain a proper straight line from your head to your shoulders to your hips, then it will be 0 pressure through the lower back and it'll work those hamstrings. All right, so let's try it. What you're going to do, pull those shoulders back, stick your chest out, you're going to stick your hips back. If you played basketball, it's like boxing somebody out. So really focus on squeezing those shoulder blades together. Your hands are just going to follow down your leg. You're going to come back up, stand all the way up, squeeze those glutes at the top. Really brace your core, drive that belly button into your spine, especially when you're in the bent over position. So exhale at the top, inhale, and exhale. Use those lungs as a way to help brace your lower back. So if you're doing these properly, you're going to be feeling those hamstrings stretching, all right? So I want you to keep your eyes focused ahead of you. You should never be looking at your toes. You should always be looking up just slightly ahead so that your back stays in proper alignment. Okay, so if you felt any lower back pain, please do not add weight. If all you felt was a nice stretch in those hamstrings, then please add weight. When you add weight, it's going to put more, it's going to require more through the glutes, hamstrings, and lower back. So we're going to grab those weights if you want. And I'm going to stay doing a side view here so that you guys can make sure you're doing it correctly. So pulling those shoulders back, squeezing those shoulder blades together, stick those hips out, stick that chest out. Good. Squeeze those glutes at the top. So stand all the way up, nice and tall. Great. Abs tight, so you have a nice straight line. Because what I want is, I don't want you to do this, but if that lower back starts rounding, then you're lifting all with your lower back. So you're trying to protect that lower back. This is a good way to pick up boxes. Squatting is another good way, but it's all about keeping that back protected. Good. So we're doing these nice and slow so you can really focus on maintaining proper form here. Awesome. Inhale and exhale. Great. Hopefully those hamstrings are starting to get tired. Hamstrings are an important part of the leg musculature, and they're usually shortened. So doing deadlifts helps a lot. Good. They're shortened because we sit too much. Here's 5, 4. Good. Check that belly button. Should still be tight to that spine. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Hopefully those hamstrings are like, woo, happy and woke up. Going to some inner thighs here. So back to facing you. Those toes are going to turn out. So if you're at like 90 degree, I don't want it at 90 degree. I don't want it straight on. I want it turned at about a 45 degree angle here. Heels should be shoulder width apart or slightly more. Now you're going to do is go down and back up. So keeping those shoulders over your hips as much as you can. Your shoulders should never fall in front of your knees. So bring those shoulders up. That's going to work those glutes more. So if you have tight inner thighs, please just go to where there's no pain. So if you have to stop here and come back up, please do. Because if some people, they're so tight that it could cause more injuries. So just be aware of what's happening in those inner thighs, all right? Please. Good. So I think we have 2 more to make 10. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Lots of glute squeezing today for this lower body. Perfect. Okay, we need to shake it out. How you guys doing? Whew. You ready to add some weight to that? Oh boy, gotta be able to walk tomorrow. If any of you have stairs in your house, so you can always do 1 dumbbell. If it feels like it's too heavy, you can always just drop to 1 dumbbell, hold it. If you want to do 2, totally fine. If you don't want to do any, that's fine too. We're gonna go another 10. So check those heels should be shoulder width apart, toes pointed out at a 45 degree angle, back nice and tall. Here we go. Down and up. Woo. Good. Maybe the wish would be that we didn't just do lower body today. Because then, oh, there's the whole walking thing. Woohoo. Awesome. Okay, if your legs are getting shaky, please drop the weight. You don't have to use any weight. You can just go back to body weight. We have 3 more reps here. 3, 2, squeezing those glutes, don't forget. And 1. Good. Okay. How are we doing? Oh, we're doing so good. All right, let's do some glutes. Actually, you know what, guys? Let me do this first. I want to show you one thing because you can always change this up in your workouts. So if you don't want to use weight because you feel like your body's not ready for it yet, or you want to make a workout more challenging, you can make body weight way more harder. I'm going to show you how right now. So I'm going to go back to those squats. We're going to do everything we just did, but with body weight only. We're just going to change the tempo. So feet shoulder width apart, toes forward or slightly turned out just a little bit. We're going to go into a squat and we're going to hold. Ready? Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Back up and back down. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we could keep doing that, but not knowing everybody's fitness level, I don't want to kill you. You're welcome. So, right, we're going to go next to hamstrings. So we're going to show you a different variation of a hamstring. If you have lower back challenges, please hold on to something so you can maintain proper hip alignment. So we're going to do what is called an airplane or a single leg, a Romanian deadlift. So all you're going to do is go into a deadlift. So you're going to keep, as I play the piano with my foot here. So straight line from your head to your hips, to your heel, okay? So head, hips, heel are a nice line. You don't want to be rounding at the lower back. So what we're going to do is go hold on to something if you need to, and just hold. Keep those hips nice and square. If you start tilting, then that goes into the lower back. So please keep your hips parallel to the floor. You're 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you should have felt that hamstring all the way up through your glute. Let's switch sides. Ready, ready? You don't want your knee bent or blocked out, by the way. Here we go, other side. So slight bend in that knee. Straight line from your head to your heel. Hips parallel to the floor. Drive that belly button into the spine. Good job. Here's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hopefully you felt your hamstring there. We could do that 3 or 4 more times. 0 weight, and you're still getting a good workout on those hamstrings. Inner thighs. We're going to do the same thing. Toes pointed out at 45-degree angles. Heels shoulder width or slightly wider. Just going to take it down and hold. Here we go for 10, 9. Please check those shoulders nice and tall back here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back up. Good. One more time. Back down. 10, 9, 8, 7. Good job. Look at you guys go. You're still moving. 3, 2, and 1. Woo! All right. Shake it out. So we'll do some calves really fast here. Calf raises. So if you want to hold on to an object to help you maintain so you're not falling forward or backward, totally fine. But all we're going to do, start with those feet pointing forward. We're just going to go up and then slow down for a count of 2. So take it up, hold, and then down for a count of 2. Good. Up, hold, down for a count of 2. Great. Perfect. Up, hold, and down for a count of 2. So you're probably starting to feel those calves working a little bit. We're going to do one more, and then we're going to change it because you have 3 different parts of that calf that we can work. All right, now we're going to turn those, externally rotate those toes or turn those toes out. I'm going to do the same thing. Go up and hold, and then slowly lower down. Up, hold, and then slow for a count of 2. Back up, squeeze those glutes, drive that belly button in the spine, check your shoulders, make sure they're over your hips. Always good form here. Good, down. So this should have felt a little different in those calves. If you're a runner, you don't need to do this. If you walk hills, you don't need to do this. One more. Good, perfect. Okay, now we're gonna internally rotate those toes. And we're gonna do it one more time. So those toes are pointing in like pigeon pose. Here we go. Up and down, nice and slow. This is a good way to practice that balance, right? Ooh, and down, perfect. Up and down, nice and slow. Good. Just please make sure you're not hyperextending through that back. You don't want to be sticking those glutes out a lot. So really just try to drive that belly button into the spine, keeping those a nice straight line from your shoulders to your, well, kind of heels, I guess. Whoop. I'll do one more. Up and down, nice and slow. So you just now worked the outside, middle, and inside part of that calf. All right, go into the floor, work some glutes. And we're just doing all very basic moves today. So you can always add a lot more variety to each of these. So we're gonna start with some Pilates for your glutes. What we're gonna do, starting on hands and knees. If you have wrist troubles, you can always grab your dumbbells and hold on to them to help keep that wrist in a neutral alignment, but you don't have to do that. So first off, before we do anything, drive your belly button into your spine. Good. Shoulders over, or yeah, wrist, elbow, shoulder in alignment, as well as hip in line with knee. So you don't want your knees up here and you don't want it way back here. So 90-degree between hip and knee. So what we're gonna do is start with a straight leg, right leg extended, and we're going to just lift. So lift and lower. So drive that belly button into your spine, please, because you don't want to have a lot of arching in that lower back. This is all about working that glute right now, not causing a major. So this is what a lower back arch would look like. Okay, so please don't do that. Should be like no movement in that lower back. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now what you're going to do, hold that knee up and you're going to press the ceiling. 10, 9, check that belly button. 8, we don't want to use saggy backs. 5, 4, I think, right? Did I skip any? I'm really bad at counting and talking. Okay, good. Now hold that heel up. Now you're going to take your heel to your glute. Here we go. 10, 9, point that toe. That'll make it a little bit more challenging. 7, 6, check those abs. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woohoo! Okay, go ahead and go into a child's pose. Lean to the side, stretch that out a little bit. We'll go hit the other side. Good job. So exciting when you get to work your glutes. All right, other side. So when we turn this way, we're gonna start, remember, knee underneath hip, wrist underneath shoulder here. And we're gonna start with that straight leg lift. Here we go. Here's 1, 2, drive that belly button into your spine. 5, 6, 7, whoops, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Now you're gonna press the ceiling with that heel. Here's 10, 9, check your belly button. 8, no saggy back. 6, 5, 4, 3, good job. 2, and 1. Okay, now you're gonna take that heel to your glute. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, point the toe if you want. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Woohoo! If you can't walk up your stairs tomorrow, sorry. Go ahead and go into a child's pose. Maybe that'll give you an excuse not to do laundry. Walk down your stairs. Okay, now we're gonna get a different part of that glute. So, laying on your side, your hips are gonna be stacked. If you have hip like bursitis or anything like that, then please just take your leg as far in front of you as you can. But the goal is to have that foot at a 90-degree angle from your hip. So it's straight out to there. Use that top hand. You can lay down if you want, whatever you want to do with your neck. But use this top hand to help you stay balanced, because you're going to do a flex foot and you're going to lift and lower. Okay. Good. 3, 4. Nice and slow and controlled here. 5. If you go too fast, then the muscle won't work the right way. Good. 8, 9. Hopefully you're starting to feel it burning a little bit. We'll do another 5. 5. Ooh, if you need to take a break, please do. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh yeah, so good. That glute gets that glute medius. So now we get to flip to the other side. We get to do it again. So hips stacked. That top hand helping you support. foot at 90 degrees right in front of you, and we're gonna lift. Here we go. 1, 2, good job. 3, 4, 5. Really use that core too. 6 if you need to. 7, like tighten up that core. Only 5 more, and then we get to be done with this one. Yay! 4, because it might be burning a little bit. 3, 2, and done. Woo-hoo! So good. All right. How are we doing on time? We're doing amazing. So I want to do one more glute, and it's a full range. Gets all, you have 3 different muscles in your glute. So everybody laughs at these. Called the dog with the fire hydrant. So you probably know what's coming up, right? Hands and knees. Drive that belly button into your spine. All we're going to do is just take that leg out. So your knees are going to stay in alignment with each other here. All right. Hips stay pretty square. I don't want you like really trying to rotate out. Hips stay square to the floor. Good. Awesome. Now, if you want to add a core challenge to this, you totally can. Extend your hand, the opposite hand. So if it's your right leg that you're lifting, extend your left arm. And that'll be a lot more challenge through your core. You don't have to, though. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, you may have felt that burning on your other glute, and that's totally okay. That's normal. Switching to the other side. Hopefully everybody's wrists are doing all right here. Drive that belly button into your spine. And here we go. Lifting, keeping those knees in line with each other. And please try to keep an eye like either right in front of you or a little bit ahead of you so that you're not looking down at your knees. Because that neck's just as important here. If you want that challenge, you can always add that other arm. Good. Check that belly button, pull it to your spine. So much to think about when you're working out. Oh my goodness. But you're doing good. 5, I think. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Child's pose again. Stretch out those glutes. Nice job. Nice job. Nice job. Okay, so now stretching is just as important as strength training. So we're going to work on stretching. So if you want to go to the floor for this, you aren't going to be doing any standing or anything like that. First off, let's go with hamstrings. So back nice and tall. You just go, you can either reach double arm forward and grab the bottom of those feet or ankles or calves. If you feel it behind your knees, please do a slight bend in those knees, pop those knees up and try to lean forward more. That should take it out of the back of the knee and put it more into the hamstring area. Good job. Good job, good job. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we're going to do it a little bit different. Take that right arm, reach for the outside left foot. This is going to stretch in that outside part of your hamstring. So trying to keep those toes pointing up. Sometimes your toes are going to want to internally rotate or externally rotate. Just try to keep them pointing straight to the ceiling. And this should be a nice stretch in that hamstring on the outside. That hamstring can cause a lot of lower back challenges if it gets too tight. So that's why it's very important, as well as knee pain, to keep this hamstring nice and stretched out. Good. Coming back up. Then we'll switch to the other side. Reaching for the outside part of that leg. Try and keep those toes pointing to the ceiling. Good job here. Hopefully this feels good. And it's okay now to just let your head drop to your chin to your chest. And you'll get a nice stretch down those erector spinae muscles along the spine. Perfect. Okay, since we're here, let's go to that V sit. So taking those legs into a V and just leaning forward as low as you can go. So if some of you are so flexible that you can put your forehead to the floor, please do. I'll give you a high five virtually because that's amazing. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This should feel good. Just go ahead and let your chin drop to your chest here as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to go to a butterfly. Move it a little bit higher up into that adductor, those inner thighs. Bringing the bottom of the feet together. And there we go. So there's a different way to do this stretch, but it requires kneeling on the knees. And I don't know that anybody who's had knee replacements here in the group. So that's why I stick with these, but we can do the other one as well. It's a little bit deeper, so we'll do that one in just a little bit. Perfect. Okay. Extend your right leg, bottom of the left foot goes over, and you're going to reach that right arm, right arm to left leg. Am I telling you guys right? I'm trying to do mirror image and I'm not very good at that. But you should be getting a really nice stretch. It could be either outer hip, it might be out oblique, could be a lot, it could be inner thigh. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Other side. Hey, Gracie. Good. Reaching, switching legs there. You want to say hi to everybody? There you are. Good, good, good. So it should be a nice stretch, either lat, hip, inner thigh, maybe even hamstring. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, so let's just see how your hip mobility is. I'm going to do crisscross applesauce with those legs if you can. Hopefully you can. All you're going to do is just lean forward and try to, if you need to, like, use your feet to help you pull lower, because this is a good hip stretch, a hip opener here. So hopefully that feels good to you. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to switch sides. Good. And we're going to lean forward again. All right. That should feel really good, maybe lower back, but it is a hip stretcher. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good. Now I'm going to show you that other inner thigh stretch. So we'll go to a kneeling position, hands and knees, and what you're going to do is just kick a leg out to the side. Foot needs to be flat on the floor, so you don't want your foot on the side. You want it flat on the floor. And if you don't feel that stretch there, then just move your knee away from the center line of your body, and then you should feel it. But it should be a really nice inner thigh stretch there. Maybe a little deeper than that V sit. And now what we're going to do is very slowly sit onto your heel. So side views, you're just going to sit back, and it's okay to let that toe of that leg that's stretching come off the floor just a little bit, and that's going to move it higher up into that inner thigh. So if you weren't able to get a good stretch with the butterfly, then this should be your ticket. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, good. We'll switch legs. Kicking that other leg out, making sure that foot is nice and flat on the floor there. We're almost done. we'll hang out here for just a little bit. Each stretch should be held for a minimum of 10 seconds. The recommendation is 10 to 30, 60 if you're doing yoga, like for deep, deep stretching. Okay, go ahead and sit on that heel now. Should feel good. You can always go to your forearms. You can stay on your palms. It's up to you. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, so we have, for those, we're going to show you 2 different stretches for your glutes. For those who are able to do a pigeon pose, we will do that. So we'll go into a downward dog to begin with, if you can. It's also a nice stretch to those calves. Bring that right leg through, cross it in front of you. So that leg is crossed almost like a number 4. And then you can go to a low, you can stay high or you can go low. It's really up to you. If this is too much on your hip and your hip's like, no way, Jose, I'm not doing that. Then in a seated position, you can always just cross the number 4 here. So bend your left foot, plant it, and then cross your right ankle over. You can do this in a chair as well. You just cross your ankle over your opposite knee. Okay, so those are your options. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. I'm going to come out of that, go back into a downward dog, pushing those heels into the floor as much as possible, getting that nice calf stretch there. Then we'll swing it through pigeon pose on the other side. All right, good job. You can go to forearms, you can stay on palms, whatever feels better. And if it's more comfortable to plant that foot and cross your ankle over, please do that. There's many different ways to get a nice glute and hip stretch here. All right, here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So we're going to roll out of that, and we're just going to roll into your side. So we got to get your quads here. Grabbing that foot, pant leg, the back of the shoe, whatever you need to do to pull that leg behind you. Okay, so here's, let's see, I guess the backside view. So you're just going to pull that leg as far behind you as you can. Trying to get a nice quad stretch there. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we'll switch sides. Should feel good on those from those squats because we did a lot of good quads today. And if this is a challenge, just be on the floor and get up and down off the floor. You can always do a standing quad stretch too. Just same thing, just grabbing that foot. So here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so my friends, we just stretched every muscle that we just worked, and you did a total lower body workout. You got your glutes, hamstrings, quads, calves, and thighs. So good job.